So Trump's going around to all these legacy media platforms. Uh, Louis asked the question, what do you think is the future for mainstream media now that they're not trusted?
Yeah, especially with the Durham report, and that's a huge thing. Oh, they're dead. They're gone. I mean, they'll always be there. Well, I don't know. I guess they could go the way of BuzzFeed and Vice, but they'll always be there, but they don't have anywhere near. They will not and do not have anywhere near the influence that they once had. Remember, in the academy, you have a field of study known as agenda setting theory. And agenda setting theory basically argues we live in a mediaocracy, because what they argue is it's not so much politicians who write the script for the media. It's, so we say that, and I say it often, the media just dutifully went around and reported this nonsense that came out of Nancy Pelosi's mouth. It's actually, from the vantage point of agenda setting theory, it's actually the other way around.
But first, gang, I gotta tell you, I was utterly shocked when I was recently shown just how easy it is to access the deed to my house, and not just access it, but change it. I mean, if you don't know, the deed to your home is the only document that proves you own it. But the problem is that the deeds to all our homes are now online, and criminals are free to find our deeds, forge our signatures, refile as the new owner of our homes, take out tons of loans using our home's equity, and then stick us with the debt. And by the way, if you think homeowners insurance is going to bail you out, you got another thing coming. But that's where our good friends over at Home Title Lock come in. Gang, they're absolutely amazing. Home Title Lock gives you the peace of mind that the deed to your home is absolutely and completely protected. Click on that link below right now and use promo code Turley Talks. And all you have to do is enter your address for your no obligation home title scan to see if you've already been a victim of deed theft. I mean, that's $100 value, absolutely and totally free if you use my promo code Turley Talks. Gang, don't wait for the worst to happen only to regret that you didn't do something about it when you could have. Click on that link below right now and secure your home today.
It's the media writing more or less the scripts, the informal scripts for the politicians. And you learn really fast. Just ask Richard Nixon. You learn really fast what happens to you if you dare challenge the establishment mediocrity. It's also known as virtual politics. It's not real. It's not a real democracy that we're living in. And we all know that. So Jimmy Dore has been talking about a Princeton study back in 2015. I forget, that looked at, that it analyzed voters across the economic spectrum over a number of years. And they looked to see where these voters, what political issues they were interested in. And they found that in the top economic echelon, only about 2-3% of the overall pool of voters that they looked at, if that top economic echelon did not want a particular political issue passed, generally it didn't pass. If they did want it passed, if they wanted that political issue, no matter how unpopular it was, it ended up passing on a southern border. It ended up passing. It ended up effectively being put into effect. Where is sort of the bottom 70%? So we're not talking poor people per se. We're just talking middle class, run-of-the-mill income earners. There was no necessary correspondence between the issues that they cared for and the issues that they opposed. And they also found that if they opposed issues that the upper class supported, those issues, even though we have the votes, those issues generally passed. And if they supported issues that the upper class opposed, those issues generally went nowhere. So we don't live in a democracy in that sense. And we certainly don't live in a republic if our permanent political class is doing everything they can to destroy our Bill of Rights. So, people really feel like we're living in a time where our politics is scripted. And according to agenda setting theory, it's the mediaocracy. It's the media that actually drives our politics. So that's why Rush Limbaugh always said, people get into journalism to, quote, make a difference, right? This is where their activism really can shine, and they don't have to be dependent on the rubes in these idiot counties to have to convince them to vote for them, or be like Joe Biden and play, the old Scranton kid. I'm just one of you. I'm just one of you, even though I get millions of dollars from the CCP. I'm just one of you, even though I get millions of dollars from this corrupt Burisma company in the Ukraine. So they don't have to play that. They can hang out in total blue metropolitan cosmopolitan culture, and they get to define politics. That mediocrity is collapsing. That's falling apart as we speak. Now, it's going to take time. It's hard. Again, it's the most entrenched here more than anywhere else in many respects. So, in many respects, Eastern Europe is farther ahead than we are. Eurasia is farther ahead in this than we are. Even China, for heaven's sakes, is farther, because at least their Politburo, the CCP communist class, is redefining themselves as Neo-Confucian. India is farther ahead, even to a certain extent, Sub-Sahara Africa is farther ahead. So we're going to be the last ones to this party in many respects, getting rid of all this globalist apparatus that's ruling us. But the crisis of legitimacy, just ask the Soviet Union what happens when the people no longer trust you anymore. I mean, in mass. Just ask it. I mean, the Berlin Wall imploded literally overnight. It was insane. And I think that's what we're going to see here. So the amount of the crisis of legitimacy on the one hand, and the amount of competition they're now going to get by sort of the new, Tucker-led alternative media, it's going to be too much for them to be able to compete with.